And so I don't know. In SoCal, we have a pretty large, like social media, I guess you could, podcasting influencer people. And I think this was one of the first years where I got quite a bit of traffic and people started posting our stuff, which was
is this still a horseshoe through the carport?
It's expanded out into the driveway.
Got it.
So,
Nice.
Yeah. And, so this was, it's all on a backstory. All the haunts that we've done have all had a backstory. To work, build the theme so you kind of read the backstory before you go in, and hopefully it will make, some sense as you're going through.
Right. What is your backstory?
This year was the farm was built on, and my friend Greg Packard wrote a big long backstory about how the Norton family, farmed on this land and nothing would grow. And it ended up being on a cursed land, and it ended up being a refuge for, the homeless or the people, the outcasts of society, which kind of congregated, and where people would go missing, and so they'd end up in the barn, and then Dr. Smalls would be doing, experiments on them in the back room. Yeah, this was a fun year.
Do you change your story every year, or is it the same every year?
Changed the story because we moved, and so we were here, and so this house had a great layout, and so we kept it as the farm haunt and kept that backstory. And this was Mr. Norton, and he was freaking great.
Talk about details, Christopher.
I want my $2.
Christopher Presley, everybody. One of the other people that bust my chops on a regular basis.
Oh, hey, you're the one that's holding up the process.
My process is done. In fact, while Troy is talking about this, I pulled this up.
Where's my email?
Hey, so I go. I'm sorry for all the viewers that are watching right now. I have to clear my name for some reason. But I go to the Home Haunter Awards show page, the entries page, correct?
Yeah.
I go there, I fill out all the information, I click my file. So I go choose file. I should screen share this just so you can see that I'm doing it.
No, it's secret.
Fair enough. I won't do it then. I go to my file, I grab my tally sheet, I open it up, it says it's there, I submit it. It's submitting, it's thinking. And now it comes back and says, sorry, only image video files are allowed to be uploaded.
He's on the submission page. He's not on the judging page.
It says on the left, it says judging spreadsheet and judging instruction video.
Submitting it as an Excel file?
I don't know. How do you do that?
The original.
I'm a Mac, dude. I don't know.
God.
It converts everything.
Oh no. Well, we'll have to handle this after the show. Christopher will
Yeah,
get with you
see,
after the
I'm
show.
clearing my name into public right now.
But all right.
That's
So
it.
that's why.
That's it.
It's because you're on a 1984 Apple IIe, and you need to upgrade to,
Hey,
something.
I love my green screen, okay? What I gotta say. As much as you love your green screen.
I do love my green screen.
I would sit as a scarecrow in my grandfather's old work clothes and stuff it with hay, and I would sit on the porch and then scare the teenagers. But you know what? It's funny is that the littlest kids would know I was real, and
Oh yeah, they're not
kids.
dumb. No, they know. So funny. You're not part of this interview. I'm just kidding.
What is that voice that I hear?
It's voice in the back.
He works at Haunted Overload too.
See? Look at that. Look at this guy.
Acts and
This
builds.
guy.
So now I don't know if Morgan's intentions were to be an actor, but mine were just to be a builder, and I got peer pressured into acting.
Oh, they were.
And so, hi.
My intentions were to do everything I could.
Yeah.
Everything I was allowed to do.
My very first project was the body bags, and that was during COVID. And so we were working sometimes until 1 a.m. all day until 1 a.m. And I literally, I would close my eyes and see body bags and I would smell mold. That's just like became who I was. So that was who I acted as my first year. I was literally a body bag mannequin. And so my second project was Reapers, and that was with her. So, well, I had done like 2 sets of hands before you came. It took so long.
There's 8 Reapers.
Yeah.
Well, and as a kind of an inside thing, that was and we were talking about it before we came on. That was the room that got me while I was at Haunted Overlook was the body bags, because I knew somebody was in there, and I have this thing with those other rooms where people.
It wasn't me that year, but we did have body bag people, at least 3 or 4 on that scene at all times.
Right. Because normally I get it where it's the hallway with all the identically dressed mannequins.
Yep.
Lining the hallway, and one of them moves. And I've learned about the shoe trick. So if you're a haunt out there, make sure that your person is wearing the same shoes as your mannequins.
Yep.
But I still tend not to look because I don't want to ruin it. But I get hit there every time, and I know it's coming. Everybody loves to go with me to haunted houses because I allow myself to get hit a lot. Yep. But they love when they see those rooms. They're like, ooh, where's Troy? I want to go in with Troy. Because I know they're coming, and then every once in a while they won't come out, and I'm like, oh, and then they'll come up from behind me.
Yeah. If we know you're expecting, we can hear you talking. Like we.
Right. People can hear me talking. Wait a minute. That's a new one.
Like we know who we're scaring and how we're scaring them based on what they're saying right now. It's like you don't think that there's someone who can hear you from all angles. We're outside. Like it's so easy to get immersed in it that you're just like, oh, we're turning a corner, and it's like, no, you were actually just behind me for a second.
Right. Also, I want to, Morgan, I want to thank you. I now owe my wife a pony, so
at least she got a pony.
Well, it's Tuesday night, and we welcome you to the Haunt Tower. Brought to you tonight by Haunt Collective. And here are your hosts for this chilling evening. Susie Fleesick, she's delightfully eerie. Troy Crivello, devilishly charming. And Dan Doble, he's hauntingly mysterious. And tonight's guest is Chad Smith. So please sit back, get ready, secure your drinks, and brace yourselves, for this is the Haunt Hour.
Okay, why was I upside down? Why was I upside down?
Delightfully eerie.
So I'm upside down?
You only did one walkthrough.
I know.
Was she upside?
You gotta play with it. I know.
I just came in from Texas, where they said, "Hey, Troy, move to Texas," and now and then I got rained on a lot.
Is it raining?
Not anymore. It got sunny today, but after our storm that rolled through at like 5:30 in the morning, got woken up to tornado sirens and sideways rain, and our guest had his backyard rearranged. And some other people's houses got more damaged. And yes, we're fish sticks for all. I am the golden. If Dan was here, he would really love this. Golden.
Yeah. Oh, Dan.
I know, Dan.
It's
Dan
so
got
sad
blown
what
away by the
happened.
storm as well. The Texas storm made a quick little L and went right up to Wisconsin and whipped him up and threw him out to the side. And so he's gonna go get his son, and then he's gonna come back.
Hopefully, we get graced with his presence tonight.
No, I'm sure. Looks like Sean said he got hit by the storm. That was actually because the girl's name that hit him in the car when she was going to the strip joint, her name was Storm. So yeah,
I figured.
Yeah. But other than that,
that's cool.
Actually, Sean's gotten hit several more times with storms than I have, so I've been pretty good. I've been pretty lucky. We fared very well during the storm this morning. We lost power for all of about 60 seconds. Other people are still out. We actually have some.
You are describing a typical day in Pennsylvania.
That's what that's what I've kind of been seeing lately. You guys have been getting it too. So
it's just been like that. And power, like our power grids around where I live are just crap. Crap. The two things that have been happening in my town lately are power outages, like randomly, whether we have a storm or not. And I am not kidding when I tell you every other day we have a water main break somewhere in our town. Like there's water popping up out of the streets everywhere. Some part of my town, there's water. There's a water main every other day. There hasn't been one in maybe 3 days, so we're due. We're due.
It's the end days, and it's starting.
It must be. It's the end of times.
Yeah, Crawford, Pennsylvania is where it's starting.
It's not Crawford.
It's just we actually had a tiny bit of sad news, not specifically to us, but there was a church. It was built in 1904, and it's in Royce City, Texas, which is just south of us. We drive by it like every day, and it got hit by lightning, and it was quickly put down by fire. Wow. It was completely destroyed. Super old wood building, so of course probably no sprinklers there and stuff like that.
Right out.
Haunted houses,
they went right out.
Sprinklers in because you never know when lightning might strike your haunted house too. So yeah, it was not a fun morning. I woke up to that and had to stay and watch it on my radar app to see where the bad stuff was going, and it moved around us, so we're good. But some of my other haunt friends are without power, and Brandon Marshall, who helps run the Texas Honors Convention, he is sitting next to his generator, and he's got part of his roof is damaged. So it was a very widespread storm, and so it did a lot of damage. We had another tornado last night too, and so we've had like 2 tornadoes in like 3 days. So yeah, it's but that's it. I told people when I moved here, right? Yes, it's awesome to live in Texas. It's so awesome.
Yeah, I know, right?
Is that these 2 months are definitely the most intense, unless you unless you hate the heat, of course. But this is the time of the year, April and May, when this place gets a lot of storms because the heat's down in Mexico, the cold is up there, and they're meeting and they're moving around, so you get a lot of difference of where these storms go. And I said
we had a couple tornadoes in Pittsburgh literally like a week or 2 ago. So like it's everywhere.
Yeah. And it's, I said I wanted to move somewhere. I mean, there's 1,000 reasons why I moved to Texas, but one of them was I wanted more interesting weather. Oregon has very bland, boring, predictable weather. I could literally tell you for 2 months straight what it's going to do almost every day, and it would do it. And then the next 2 months, I could tell you what it was going to do. Zero. I mean, good. There's no threat to life from the weather there, minus maybe a random flood or an earthquake. But even the flood, it was like you would know it was coming and stuff. So it was very safe to live there, but very boring. And I was like, I want something fun. Every time we have a thunderstorm, I am out on my porch watching the thunderstorm. I'm out there every single night watching it. I have my Buc-ee's chair. I'm sitting out there watching it in my rain slicker. And yes, we are fishermen now. But I'm sure it will wear off eventually, but for now it is not. I still love it. But so thoughts and goodwill and GoFundMe's to all the people in
Texas and prayers
needs help
to everyone.
So I hope that everybody does that. And while I change in my outfit, we definitely have some.
Oh God, he is.
Damn it! I didn't get back in time.
Come back without a shirt, and then everybody would have just dropped out, would have dropped dead, and it was.
Get off my lawn! Only you, Bill. By the way, Bill is also without power. He is way up in the north. Actually, he's in southern Illinois. Don't let him tell you that he's not southern. He's totally southern. Southern Illinois, and I think some gypsy stole his electrical out of his electrical box outside of his house. So he's watching us with no power, probably on his little phone. So that's great. Thank you for joining us, Bill Bornder, Mind Trap. But we do have news. We have lots of news. We have some fun news and some other fun news.
Hopefully it's all fun.
Oh, all the fun.
It's always fun. We don't need bad news, right?
News is fun. One of the things that I've noticed that Horror Nights is doing this year is they're not doing intellectual properties. They're not doing movies. They're not doing any of their movies. Now, they may have characters that are in their movies in these things, but this is the first one they announced, which was Slaughter Cinema. And then they have Goblin's Feast,
Okay.
So trolls and goblins and all that. Then you have Major Sweets Candy Factory. Supposedly this was a midway thing before, and now it's actually going to be a full haunt. So people are excited about that. And we have the Museum of Deadly Exhibits. That's interesting. And then the Monsters of Latin America. I know this one is probably this would get Alan Hops there like super fast because he's all about monsters and cryptids and things like that. And Latin America is full of very historic stories about all those kind of, monsters and legends and things like that. And then this is the newest one they announced today, I believe, and it's the Triplets of Terror. And they said these 3 characters are recreating their murderous rampage.
Okay.
So this one's
I feel like I know some Triplets of Terror in real life.
I think so. I think
we all probably do.
I think so.
Interestingly, I guess I didn't realize that Halloween Horror Nights ran from August 30th.
This is new this year as well.
I was going to say, because I just, before we got on the show, I was looking at flights to Orlando to do I've never done Universal ever, and we're Disney people, but I was just, swear to God, and I found like a cute little package for us to do Universal, never thinking of Halloween Horror Nights, because we were thinking of like sometime in August. But now that I'm seeing this, that might change things for us, because there might be an opportunity. The earlier you
go, the less you would need. Now, if you want to do the full thing, like Tater and Katie Lane and all of them who go to Universal all the time and stuff like that, Ethan, they get the RIP pass.
Yes,
because it gets you certain extra things, obviously the front of the line. But if you're gonna go like that, like I wouldn't go August 30th, that first weekend, because it's gonna be probably super busy. But the next weekend, like the one after Labor Day, is probably gonna be a really good one to go, and you may not need the RIP passes. Or of course, if you go in the middle of the week. Now I don't know if they run. One of these said. This one said select nights. Oh, okay.
Select nights. I see. Yeah.
Yeah. So like Tuesdays and Wednesdays, they're probably not doing it. As you get closer to Halloween, Thursdays added in, kind of like haunted houses.
Right.
They're not open. Days. But yeah, I mean, I will eventually go to Horror Nights. It's just not like this year actually kind of entices me to go because it's not movie stuff. Like I
agree.
I love seeing movie haunts. I love seeing stuff from movies and haunts, but I want to see something original. That's why I love all the
I agree
to go to.
I totally agree.
It's all out of your mind, not
absolutely. You're not borrowing from like some awesome creative writer that wrote this amazing like trilogy, and you're just stealing from that.
And you're Universal, you get access to all the props from the damn movies too. So that's not
right.
fair.
Makes it easy. Makes it easy for them.
Yeah.
No, so I like this. I agree.
It's all original stuff, so I like that. And if they keep going down that road, this one kind of looks cool. I want to know what they do with Goblin's Feast. That looks interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you're into Horror Nights and you hate regular haunted houses, then go here. Obviously I always tell people to go to regular haunted houses because they're better, and all my friends run them, like Susie. So, and our next guest, he runs a haunted house too. So, So yeah, I think that is it for my regular news, but I have a special guest for us tonight to talk about new news. Nude news?
Not nude.
Robert.
Thank God you have a shirt on. I'm waiting for somebody to not have a shirt on today. I know mine looks like I
came prepared.
Yay! Same color. Oh, thank you for wearing a shirt, Rob.
Yeah.
I do my best here. I dress to impress.
Right.
We appreciate it.
So I wanted you to come on because I asked you a couple of weeks ago because I hadn't seen anything on social media, and you guys at the Chamber of Haunters are extremely on top of things when it comes to social media. You guys share everything, including Terror Tour stuff. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And you guys are very onto that. And I was like, hey, Robert, I have not seen anything about the Chamber Bowl because I know that last year at this point, we were already talking about that we knew Susie was going to win because, Susie's.
Oh, no, we didn't. I won fair and square. We didn't know anything.
Right. I mean, you totally won fair and square, but But yes, here's Robert talking and talking and talking.
I'm here. Look at that beautiful belt.
Look at this.
There it is. There it is. Look at that thing.
Even Susie has it ready for us.
Oh, Susie's got it. Oh, there we go. Here we got to make her. Look at that.
Isn't
thing.
it beautiful?
Oh, it's heavy too, huh?
It is. And it smells so like. I don't. This isn't real leather, but it smells like really. It smells good. Look at this. Look at the detail on this thing. Look at this thing. Isn't it great?
That is very awesome. Smells like winning. There you go.
Smells like winning. That's right.
Upside down. There.
Upside down. That's all right.
It does. It smells like a winner, and that is me. I smell like a winner.
And it's the first. Nobody will ever get to be the first.
Yes.
Winner, but you guys. So
Rob, I'm going to tell you right now, if the belt is ever better than this, I'm disowning you. I'm never going to speak to you again.
Yeah, she's like, set a bar.
Yeah.
You set a bar. It can't be any different than that now.
It can't be better than this, but
right.
I'm hoping it's a little
It's hard to beat the first belt. I'll tell you, to be honest, it's hard to beat that first belt.
Right.
Like I made the first awards for the first ever Home Hunter Awards, and it was literally a wood pallet with little red cellophane in it with the little hands coming out and a little stand, a little plaque on it. I made those as the first year. Then we found somebody to actually make us awards that were better than mine. So that's what you did wrong, Robert. You didn't make a little, like you should have made, like all of us did when we were kids, when we were watching wrestling. We all made the cardboard belts. That's what you should have done first, and then worked your way up.
Listen,
now,
I wouldn't have fought so hard if it was a construction paper belt. This is not made out of construction paper. But
yeah, could you imagine? I think that wouldn't have been such a wonderful day come with a cardboard belt.
Wouldn't have been a sought after title.
I know, right? Look at that.
Oh, look at us.
There they
look
are.
at us there.
That was a great day.
It was.
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah, that was.
So, I want you to talk to us about how the 2024 Chamber Bowl is going to happen, because I don't see any names on here, Robert. I don't see any Hunt names on here. So I'm going to put Scare Hollow on there and I win, right? Right?
That's right. Yeah, you win automatically.
Yes.
He's like, I win automatically. It's it.
Yes.
So, so June 1st, we moved it forward a little bit this year, just with a lot of things going on. We've been very busy this year, which is awesome. We've been very busy. We just got back here not too long ago from East Coast, Transworld's first East Coast convention, which was amazing. So we had a great time there. We're preparing to go to Midwest here in June, and then Texas in July, as we always do. So we're excited about that. It's always a blast there with everybody. And so we just thought, in conjunction with like I said, in Texas, we hold our annual meeting there every year. We just thought moving it closer would make it a lot better, because that way, straight from there, we can go into Texas. And we'd like to be able to use that as a part of an announcement during our annual meeting as well. So it'd make a lot more sense just to have it in conjunction. So we moved it this year from pretty much the April-May timeframe to the June timeframe, heading into July. That way, like I said, we're going right into the convention, and we can make that announcement and make sure the winners get their belt no matter where they're at. And so on June 1st, we'll be announcing the whole grid as far as all the haunts that'll be on it. And obviously this, as it always is, it's chamber members. That's part of the perk for being a chamber member, as you know, along with many others. But that's one of them, is that you get to put it in the Chamber Bowl. And like I said, it's just a friendly competition. It's not, is honestly not a popularity contest. It's not. That's what sets this game apart. Because for a while now, just so everybody knows, we're going on our 5th year in operation. So this is an exciting year for us. We have a lot of new things coming up too, which we'll wait for another day. But we have some exciting things coming up. But years ago, we tried to think of how to keep our members and just fans engaged throughout the year. And it's hard when you have a national organization. It's hard to, how do you get them all involved with different time zones and, doing it virtually, and how do you do that and keep people engaged? And when we came up with this, we thought, hey, this is the way to do it. Not only do we engage our members and just fans alike, but haunters can engage their customers in the off season. While they're not with them in the on season, they can keep them engaged. And so this leads into haunt season. It's a few months before, but it gets the fans ready and pumped. So the whole point of this game, like I said, is not a competition so much as popularity, as much as it is getting your fans engaged and saying, hey, we need your help. We're a part of this game. We need your help to get us there. So it's not about people saying, oh, this haunt's better or that haunt's better, or I don't like this haunt. We make sure that it's well known that this is not anything like that, and we do not want the negativity. So we make sure that stays out of it. It's all fun and games. And like I said, we make sure there's a great prize, which is that belt. So it makes it more worthwhile. Like Susie said, it makes it a lot more fun to fight for. But like I said, the nice thing is you're engaging your fans. So this is helping our members to get out there and have another reason to get their fans engaged day after day, week after week, and say, hey, you need to vote. This is our time. This is how much time we have. Get on there and press that button and help us to get to the top. And like I said, at last year, all our members had a ball. They loved it and really enjoyed it. And a lot of them got back to us after saying how much engagement there was with their own fans. They just said this was an awesome idea that, some people were telling us how they struggled to find engagement with their fans in the off season. I mean, other than giving them updates, they didn't know how to engage them. You get them to talk to them, get them to do something with them. And so this really, like I said, has been a great thing. That first year was amazing. And I'll be honest, I can't thank Susie and Troy enough. Once again, they were awesome and they were great, but the hype that they had over it really helped. I mean, the fact that it was important to them just made it more of a blast for me and made it more worthwhile for me to come out and present that, because it was like awesome. Okay, they won and they were excited about it. And that makes it more worthwhile whenever people get into it. Like I said, I mean, you don't win this year. The great thing is there's next year, so we're really excited about this, and this is something that we're going to continue to do annually and just help our members get engaged with each other, help our members to get engaged with their own patrons, in a time when it's harder to engage them. It's one thing to put announcements out for people, but to engage them is a different story. So we're just really excited. So June 1st, you'll see all the announcements of all our members that will be participating in it, like I said, from home haunts to large haunts. And once again, a lot of people will say, oh, well, I'm a home haunt and I'm going against this haunt. It's like, you know what? You try. You do your best. As long as you keep getting your patrons engaged, you have an opportunity. So, I mean, like I said, it's all well and fun. And I will say this. I've had people tell me, oh, well, this person has, I don't know, 5,000 followers. This person has 2,000 followers. This person has 900 followers. You would be surprised how I've had smaller haunts beat out larger haunts. It depends on the engagement. You can have 20,000 likes. Doesn't mean everybody's going to participate. That's the difference. It's one thing to click like once and go away. It's another thing to be a dedicated follower. So you can have 900 people and have maybe 800 dedicated followers. You can have 22,000 likes and maybe only have 500 dedicated followers. We don't know what those numbers are. So you can't always look at the likes or followers as a sign of who all is going to participate. So like I said, it definitely is a fun game. Like I said, it's a way for everybody to get involved and just have fun. And honestly, we've even had a lot of our members that through this got to know each other better. As they compete against each other, they would talk or do some fun smack talk, back and forth, and they would become friends. And like, I didn't know you're here, and and they talk afterward, and they'd be like, yeah, I met this guy, he seemed really great, or I met this couple and they were really cool. And it's like, that's what this is all about, just having fun, enjoying yourself and playing a cool game, and then the winner gets a cool reward at the end. So that's we're excited about it. Like I said, should be a fun time. It should last roughly, like I said, about a month, maybe a little over a month. And like I said, then in July at our annual meeting and at Texas Hunters Convention, we will announce the winner, and then once again, have the presentation of the award. So like I said, we're very excited about it.
That is very cool. So it looks like we're going to have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. So 32 haunts?
Yep.
Nice.
32 to start, and then you'll get down to the final ones. Like I said, it'll probably take about 4 to 5 weeks, about a month, over a month, to get down to it, because we'll only run so many days each week. But like I said, usually they have, I think it's like I said, if I can remember, I have someone else helping me with it, but I think it's about 48 hours to do their votes. And then as we get down to the last, I think it's like the final 4, they get 24 hours. We start shrinking the time to do the votes, but we usually give a decent amount of time to start. So it gives you time, to get your people engaged. So yeah, we're excited about it. It should be fun. Like I said, cool. It was a lot of fun last year. It's funny because I had so many people that they would tell me, "Oh yeah, we're doing great," and they go to bed and they wake up in the morning, they're like, "Crap!" and you start seeing them online like, "Hey, we fell behind overnight. You need to."
Yeah. And you can see like the numbers. You can see the votes, the first so many rounds, you can see the votes, but then in the end, you take away the ability to be able to see your votes.
I like that.
And that's frustrating because you're like, oh shit, I can't see if I'm winning or if I'm losing or what. You don't know that. So I think it was like the final 2 rounds or something, you took away that ability to see.
Yeah, it was the final 4 and then the last 2 where we're like, okay, it's blind voting.
Oh man, that sucked.
And that's where the heat turns on. We did that on purpose because, like I said, we wanted to get to a point where, we wanted it to be a little bit more interesting because, like I said, getting down to that, obviously, when you start moving down the bracket, I mean, you've done a lot of engagement by that point. I mean, you're talking weeks of engagement with your patrons. So at that point, they're very aware. After like 2-3 weeks of this, they're very aware that, hey, this is going on. And you're able to push that more. We figure once we get down to the final 4 and those last 2, make it interesting. Be like, okay, hey fans, you need to get on there. We can't see the votes right now, but you need to get on there and do your job because we need to win this belt and bring it home.
Yeah.
So it makes it. Yeah, it definitely does bring that tension to the table.
For sure.
Well, and last year
was a lot of fun.
Last year, Susie beat out a Texas haunt, and that can never happen again. So,
there's
several Texas haunts on this. Last year, I hope that they're all back next year, and we're gonna do. But I also see like Waldorf, A State of Fear is on there, and that's on my tours, and I'm like, and Fatal Fear is good friend.
I know. How do you?
I'm sorry, it's coming home to Texas, so that's all there is to it.
You're like, it's gotta be Texas this time. It's
coming home. It's coming home to where it should always be, is in Texas.
Okay.
We will make sure it's in a tornado and hail safe case though when we bring it back to Texas.
Yes, please. That's very important. Yeah, we want this belt to last. A good
this
while.
Thing will kill someone. This could kill someone. It's pretty.
Maybe I could use it to shield myself because there was a Walmart
would work.
that had hail coming through their ceiling and people had things on top of their head. So I would use it to shield myself, and then the hail would bounce off. So that'd be good.
Well, this is the interesting part is, and once again, I don't know if I had mentioned this to you, Susie, when we had brought the belt, but we get this from a company that like I said, these are professional grade belts. I mean, they're like, I don't know exactly what type of material it is. I don't know if it's a pleather or something like it, but it's very durable as far as, like I said, it's made very similar to the actual wrestling belts that you see on television. And it's, like I said, everything is, pretty authentic as far as that's concerned. And it's heavy duty. I mean, whenever I ordered it, because I have to wait until the winner, is selected before I can place an order. And so once I do, like I said, I got it last year and I took it out of the box just to make sure that everything looked good. Because obviously, if I'm taking that to present it, it's got to look right. And I pulled it out and I was like, wow, this thing is heavy. I mean, it was not light. So yeah, it's professional grade, and we wanted to make sure it was worth the while. And like I said, I was very pleased. I think Susie and Troy, I think they enjoyed it. Like I said, it's a beautiful. I was actually jealous. I told her that day. I said,
yes,
I was jealous. I did not win because of how wonderful it was.
I was afraid you weren't gonna leave it with us.
If it wasn't for the fact your name was on it, I don't know if I would have had the ability. Exactly. I think it's the only thing that kept me. So look at that! Isn't that awesome?
It is. There you go.
Beautiful.
There you go.
So you can walk around town. Everyone's, I mean, you're a champion. I mean, I can't beat that.
I am.
Who wouldn't want to walk around their town with that belt on, saying champion? I mean, you'd be the talk of the town.
Exactly.
Yeah. We can't now. We can't copy them, Christopher. God. Okay,
that's right.
Christopher, since we're on a private chat right now, go ahead and get the belt, okay, Christopher? All right,
go ahead and get it right now.
Oh, sorry, wrong. I was on the wrong mic. Sorry, my bad.
We didn't hear it. That's okay.
So before I let you go, chamberofhaunters.com, Chamber of Haunters on Facebook. Join. It's too late to join to be on the Chamber Bowl, though. So you have to get on there, join up, and then you'll be on next year's Chamber Bowl, where you'll probably lose to a Texas Haunt because that's just how it's going to work. So,
Sure.
That's right.
Blah 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 blah.
Blah, 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 blah. Texas.
He really wants that back.
Blah, blah,
I do.
Blah blah
I
blah.
just had to join.
Texas. Blah 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 blah.
Yep, that's how it is. All right. Well, Robert, thank you very much for coming on tonight.
Thank you.
We look forward to sharing. Basically, each week we are absolutely going to share the updates of the Chamber Bowl. So,
thank you.
Yep, we'll make it.
You guys are awesome. Thank you for having me again tonight.
All right, thank you. All right. So that was awesome. That was very cool. I'm glad that you have your belt and that's all cool and whatever. So
I know.
Yeah.
Me too. I'm gonna.
Cooking with Kevin. Welcome back.
How did you get on our feet again, Kevin?
No, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm
Kevin,
here with my new cooking show.
Kevin, this is the
Cooking
haunt
with Kevin. I'm not feeling great. I'm feeling okay, but I'm a little winded right now. Okay, I don't know what's going on with me, so I'm doing my best to cook a dinner that I haven't slept since I talked to you guys last. I don't know if that makes a difference or not.
Why?
Yeah.
Why not? Why not?
But
You look a little like you were attacked or something, Kev. Your shirt's all.
no, I think I'm all right. And the food I've been cooking the past week or so, like I didn't really eat. I'm just cooking it and I'm throwing it out right now.
Oh,
Okay.
well, that's not very good. I mean, obviously. I mean, yeah. What are you making tonight, Kevin?
Tonight we're doing where's my thing? I just had it. It's creamy garlic chicken and spaghetti.
Chicken and
that
spaghetti.
sounds
That's
Chicken and spaghetti.
that's a weird. I mean, are you feeding like a horde or something? What are you feeding?
Yeah, it could be a horde of nameless, faceless corpses. We're not sure yet.
Like at MHC? Is that where you're gonna feed these nasty little walking corpses?
Yeah, we'll try to feed the walking corpse of the MHC at the MHC Zombie Walk on Saturday. Saturday, 5:30.
5:30. And this is like last year's zombie walk, right?
Yes, we're going to do the same exact thing. We're going to be leaving the convention center after the floor closes. We're going to kind of meander and walk around to the entertainment district of the Rosemont there.
Right.
Take a photo. Going to meet people. People be, oh my God, what's going on? And then we're going to kind of walk our way back and enjoy the rest of the night's festivities. That's all going there at Rosemont.
Right, and I mean, obviously, when you walk around the entertainment district, you're getting more recruits to your zombie horde because you need to eat. And
well, yeah, we'll bite, scratch them. They're gonna join us when they start feeling that bug, and
right.
or maybe next year they'll be full zombified by then.
Oh, well, yeah. Sometimes it takes a few months to get really zombified.
Yeah, I know. I wasn't feeling good for the past week, but I'm doing good now. Like this boiling hot water really isn't bothering me as much as it used to when I did that with spaghetti, but it's working out, so we're doing good.
Kevin, it looks like in your intro there that you got burned a little bit, but
yeah, that was another little mishap, but that didn't bother me. I don't know what happened. It fired and oil splash, and I was covered, and I'm like, well, whatever, didn't hurt. It was because I can't figure out. Maybe I got superpowers now that I don't know about. I have no clue.
Yeah, I mean, the fire didn't remove the brain, so there's that.
It's what?
The fire didn't remove the brain, as we all learned in Night of the Living Dead. You have to remove the brain.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I've been throwing the food out. I make it, I throw it out. Right. Although Susie's kind of looking scrumptious right now.
Yeah. You have to rip off the belt first, and that's kind of tough.
I already took it off. I already took the belt off.
So you sure took her belt off because. I don't know. I might have to see her in person because right now nobody else around me. All my neighbors are gone for some reason. I don't know what happened, but they're not around. But I need to meet new people soon.
Right?
Oh man.
So you're gonna have to go into the city, obviously, because the suburbs are picked over. Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, the suburbs out here, it's like my neighborhood's empty now. I know what happened. I got to find a way to travel. I mean, I could walk another 15 miles, and then maybe I can meet new friends. Who knows?
And it says that not that zombies need more makeup, but if a zombie needed to, wanted to look a little more zombie-ish, they get to do there's free makeup station being done.
Yeah, there's a lot of vendors. Yeah, a lot of vendors. I know Ohio Hunters Association's doing something. There's to be some other vendors out there that might be just doing some random makeup work or what have you. I mean, we're around. There's people there. But we always see the zombies already showing up at MHC, and they're already kind of walking around that whole day. But if you, and the best part of this is you don't need to be going, you don't have to go to MHC. You don't need a ticket. You can just show up at the Rosemont, the Down East Stevens Convention Center. Just show up just before 5:30. Yep. It's best if you fill a form out for us so we know who's there. Right. And you can just join us. It's free. There's no part of the event. There's no ticket needed.
Because we are trying to establish a zombie registration, list. Because we do need to keep tabs on
the zombie unions are frustrated right now.
Yeah.
So we have to get the union uprising started right away. You check on my. Okay, no, we're still okay. It's still not. It's not al dente. That's a cooking term for you.
So.
Oh my God.
So yeah. Obviously, Kevin's cooking show is a hit because he's able to break into our live feed and spout off about some weird zombie thing or whatever. So, if you're going to be at the Midwest Hunters Convention next weekend, it's next weekend, right? It's the
a couple weekends, June 7th, June 7th, 8th.
Yeah, next weekend.
So you can walk around Chicago and look exactly the same as other people that walk around Chicago.
All the Chicagoans.
There's not a big difference.
I don't know. Al Dente might have been the last guy to try to sell me solar heat panels for my house. I'm not too sure. It's either that or the guy. The spaghetti.
Right. Spaghetti.
One of the two. Al Dente. Yeah, I don't know.
Al Dente. I know him. I think I know him.
I know you know him. So
I have his ID if you need it back.
Well, thank you, Kevin, for your zombie dinner plans and dinner.
Yeah, hopefully I feel better by then. I mean, I haven't slept in about a week, and I don't know, but I can't wait. Hopefully Susie will make it there.
Yeah.
I think she just became busy.
Oh no!
Something just came up.
Her dance card got punched, huh?
Yeah, there you go. All right, Kevin, will you get back to throwing away food, and we will get back to our show, which needs to not ever be interrupted by you again, I think.
Yes.
I don't know. Well, no, I mean, I'm always around, so you never know.
Okay. All right. Well, don't trip over your body parts on the floor there. And
no, there's no body parts. No.
Oh yeah, you pick them clean. I forgot. Okay. Well, we'll never talk to you again. So see you later. Bye.
Bye.
I don't know. We have got to figure out this feed thing. I don't know what's going on with this, but I think we should just get on with the next bit here before we bring our guest on real fast.
DIY of the week.
DIY. We didn't do one last week because we had a lot to talk about, and Dan was like, we got to talk to the guest. And I was like, okay. Yeah. So I saw this TikTok about 30 minutes before the show started. I had another DIY lined up, but I like this one more. It was actually on a TikTok, but it is a lady by the name of Scary Halloween, SCARIE.
I love it.
Halloween.
I love these.
Well, made out of. It's the super cool. A bucket. It's a freaking bucket.
I love
foam. It's a bucket, foam, a little piece of wood, a couple of things of plexiglass, and a mirror, and a little lamp, and it's done. Infinity mirrors have been, infinity wells have been around for a while. This one, like, I watched it and I was like, I can do that. Like, I can find, like, I thought I could really, like, I could do this. So she shows all about how to do it. This I thought was genius.
Oh, is that a sponge?
Yeah, she takes a sponge
and just like stamps it.
And she just does a stamp.
That's cool as shit. Yeah.
I'm like, I saw that. I was like, oh my God, new thing right there. Like I've done tombstones, but I was like, that's cool. So,
that is good.
As usual, we will post this up on our Facebook page. It is also going to be in our playlist on our YouTube page. That is DIY of the Week playlist. All the ones are in there as well. And she has a lot of DIYs on her page. So we'll probably share a couple more this season. But it's definitely on a budget style DIY. So that's for today. I'm excited about that. I actually kind of I think I put it on my list of, because I have 70,000 other things to do this year.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
But I did find somebody that's going to build my entire display for me. And he's going to make it all, make it all great for me. He's going to do his own haunt in Texas as well, but he lives really close to me. So he's just going to come up to my house and build everything as well. So then I don't have to do it,
I heard him say that earlier.
He did. So I want to introduce you all to Chad Smith, the new builder of Scare Hollow.
Hi, Chad.
Unbeknownst to me, but I'm good. I'm good with it. I can step up to the plate.
Dang. Okay.
That's what Texans do, right? Honorary Texans and Texans. We stick together. So
I love to hear that.
Is coming back. I heard about the belt. The belt's coming back.
Listen.
Sorry.
Over my dead body. I'm kidding. I don't even know. I should have asked Rob if I'm even on that. And I pray to God I'm not on that because I just don't have it in me this year. And plus, I won the first time.
Yeah.
I'll let you Texas people win.
No, you have to be a defending champion. You have to go on there.
I don't want to. I want to present the belt to the new winners.
Then you have to come down to Texas to do that.
I will totally do that after haunt season.
Oh.
No, you don't want me after haunt season.
I want you to come before. I want you to go before haunt season and give it to Chad because Chad's going to win.
Oh, because Chad's going to win. I got it.
He's already won awards already. So he's just on a roll now. So
this is in the bag.
Yeah. Speaking of that, see, Troy, you were talking about the award. I wanted to brag on that. This is a great award. Look at that.
There it is. There it is right there.
There it is.
That's beautiful. Now, Troy, that's not the one you made, right? Is that the one you have already made?
No.
Okay.
No, only a few selected people have that tchotchke on their mantle now.
I want to see one.
I will find a picture of it for next week. I absolutely will.
Please.
But my friend Byron Oler from he works in St. Helens, Oregon, which is the home of Halloween Town.
Yeah.
He on the side, as not really a business, but just kind of as a side thing, he casts things like that. He actually works with a company that does a lot of stuff with Disney and things like that, and lots of big props all over the world and things like that. So he's got a lot of knowledge and a lot of tools at his disposal to make these things. And so I asked him one time, I said, hey, do you know anybody that can make these, full intenting that I was gonna have him do it. But I was like, do you know anybody who can make something like this? And he's like, oh yeah, I could do that. So he makes them, and then he has another person do the plaques, stamp the plaques for us. And then the Terror Tours is the official sponsor of the awards. So I send him money and he makes the molds and hand paints them all. And then we send them out to the winners each year. And
they're beautiful.
So he's Chad has entered a couple of years for things, and finally for his captured corpses, which we will show here in a little bit. But we do like to start off with, how did you get started in this crazy industry? Back from your childhood, what was your first kind of experience with haunting and things like that? So if you could fill us in on how Chad got to now.
Oh, okay. Very, very early on, back when you had magazines like Boys Life and things like that. Wasn't network, internet or anything. Yeah. There was a Frankenstein poster in the back of this magazine that I had to have. So I borrowed $1 from my mom's purse, ordered the Frankenstein, and forgot that I had ordered it till I got home from school, and Dad had mounted it on the wall, and I had the nice discussion of, where did you get the $1? And
oh my God.
I explained, I had to borrow the dollar because I had to have this thing. So early on, I was fascinated with Halloween and displaying and that part of it. And it went from there, morphed into, as a kid, I did like to dress up and do some, even to the point of like using pencil lead to make my fake beard if I was a hobo and things like that. So very low tech, always low tech, but I enjoyed doing it. We worked our way, and as I got older, and you know how budgets grow, right? You get a little more budget, you get a little older.
Right.
And we started, we would do Halloween parties at the house, and maybe not consistently, but we did Halloween parties and we'd decorate a little bit. And then when I moved to where I'm at now, I realized after a year here, I'm like, wait, I've got a 3-car garage and an opportunity, and seized it and started off with a very primitive haunted house walkthrough. But it was successful for what we were, but I'm grateful to look back at that and see where we started and where I've come from there. But it started early, just the whole haunt thing and the building of it, the look of it, the scare. I've always been fascinated with that. So I enjoy I enjoy the builds as you'll know about my props and things like that. So
yeah.
What year was that, Chad? Your first year?
2008. Started in 2008. And even the way I built the walls and everything was just very low tech. But
I love that though. Yeah.
But that's what was so great. It was really low tech, but it worked. We got the scares that I was looking for. And again, you learn every year. You learn to get a little bit better and make things better. And just slowly built up better product, or better props, better costumes, a little bit of everything. It just got better, and it just takes time, right? Just working, building, learn from mistakes. I've heard that before. You've heard that on the other shows and things like that. You build something and you think that's going to be a great one, and it's not. It's a fumble. And then I've had one of the best scares that we had was I took a wall and I had a friend of mine. I said, "Hey, I'm going to hang body parts on it. You just stick your arm through there." That was one of the best scares we had but I just threw it together at the last second. So I never know what's going to really hit and be a big hit, and what's going to miss, right? So, but the ones that miss, they get parked. They don't come back. I'm done with those. I'll move on.
How boring it would be though if you didn't keep learning in this industry. Like, I don't ever want to think I know everything. I won't ever think that. I mean, trust me, there's so much I don't know, but isn't it so fun whenever you see like a new way? Like even just when Troy was showing that DIY, we were like, look at this. It's a sponge stamp. Like just stuff like that whenever you see something, you're just like, how come I never thought of that? It's so cool to like be able to keep getting better and learning more,
Yeah. I agree. When I first, go ahead, Troy. Sorry.
No, I was just gonna say I probably would have found some sticker or something like that I could have put on the inside of that bucket instead of thinking about a sponge. I would have racked my brain, and maybe my wife would have came up with that, but it's just because nobody else thought of it until she did it, and it's like, oh, but and just like Susie said, everywhere I go and everybody I meet, I learn something from. It's awesome.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I started off with. I thought I stepped up when I used windshield wiper motors. I thought, okay, I've got this. Yeah. And then I realized, then I found out about pneumatics and air and solenoids and prop controllers, and then it kept going up. I even got a welder and learned how to weld. I think my son taught me, so I could build. I need custom pieces sometimes, so just make them and weld it, put it together, and go. So still do a lot of PVC pieces, but I do want to eventually get back past that and get into maybe some TIG welding for aluminum so it's stronger and durable.
Right.
There we go.
Yeah.
Oh, that was COVID. And what we did there, that was the 3 capture core. It was a family. Right. And we actually, we went and loaded up the trailer and we drove around the neighborhood and we scared people on site mobile. We went mobile and we just.
Oh, I love that.
And we would just get off. We were zombies, and we just wandered up into the crowd and got in their face. And it was really great because I said, I'm not going to not haunt, And we did still at the house. I set up a scissor prop out with a skeleton, so my wife would load candy, and then the kids could still walk up and trigger, kept our distance, and the scissor would pop out and give them, they could get candy out of the barrel.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool.
I see.
Was anybody freaked out? Like COVID itself, was anybody like, no, stay away from me, even though like, do you know?
No, it was good. Texas is a different mindset sometimes on things like that, and we're good. They were gathered up in groups. Really, we'd hit a house, and there'd be another group of 20 people in another group. So it went real well.
I would love that. I just keep thinking like, would there be somebody that would be like, whoa? Because like I know for us, for our haunt, when we do like our local parade, we're always like, don't go on the sidewalk. It's the Halloween parade, but they're not giving you permission to scare them because there wasn't an exchange of money. So therefore, the fact that somebody's not coming to your haunt to get scared and you're going to them to scare them. I know in my town, most people would love it, but there'd always be that one jackass that would be like on Facebook, I can't believe they were, coming up to us and trying to scare us. So, but I love the idea. I love the concept.
I had one customer, because I actually posted in our neighborhood. I said, hey, we're not going to have the haunt, but we're coming mobile. And I had a few people reach out. Here's my address. You have to come by here. And so we made the map, and we made sure we hit all those that asked.
I love that. That would be me.
So that was different. I said, I'm gonna change, but it went really well. We had a variety of scares off the truck, but I see you're hitting some. There's my hangman. That was one of the first pneumatics I built.
Yeah.
It used to be a windshield wiper motor, and you can see the plastic doors on the garage. That was old school too, but
that's great.
Yeah.
I used to get cars that stop on that one to wonder if
that looks great.
Yeah.
That looks really good. Those feet look really realistic. Are they rubber?
Yeah, yeah. Those are some. I've had those for a while. Those are like some Don Post rubber body parts. I still have them. I still use those. I've got hands. I got a few. They're starting to get a little weather, but weather's good, right? On haunt, you want a little bit of weather on things.
Yeah, I would say his outfit's a little too clean.
Yeah.
I mean, he's probably been in the dungeon for a while, not eating really well and stuff.
I've had him. Actually, he's been one night. Well, I took him. I haven't retired him, but I took him down because one of his legs popped off. I go, I guess that works, but really wasn't trying to go for that kind of a scare. But he works. Yeah, and that was inspired. If I can, I was inspired by poison props. I see a lot of theirs, and I said, I got to make something like that. That was the first version of Mr. Gutman.
I don't know. Your stuff moves really well.
Yeah.
Like it's real. I can see why people would think that might be real.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Because it's way more natural because it's, like with a lot of the air props that you see, it's you can almost see the formula. Like you can see, okay, now it's going to do this, it's going to do this. And it does it over and over and over again. Where yours, there's definitely the breaks in there where you're like now, nothing.
Yeah,
like that's something a real person would do. Is they'd be like, well, that didn't work. All right, let me try it again. Let me you can almost see the person thinking, how can I get out of this?
Yeah, that's really good.
Well, thank you. I do go for realistic, and I'm like you. I didn't want that just a repetitive standard rinse and repeat. I wanted it to be some randomness to it. So I enjoyed that build.
And here's your skeleton.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, that's the yard, and I changed the yard up. I've got since I got Vin and Vic Scully, the big 12-footers.
Yep,
I've changed up the layout a little bit, and I'm going to probably change it up again this year. But I did like that. That was a little bit of go-to. That was a fog chiller in that coffin.
Yeah.
And, I built it, just never quite worked like I wanted, but I redid it again. So I've revamped it. You take and repurpose it and change it up.
Right.
Yeah. that was our COVID garage where I had the scissor pop out with the candy, and they could walk up to that beam and then get the candy out there. So kept the distance, and it still worked. We weren't going to not hand out candy
and I like that better. I liked the candy chute.
I didn't like it.
I thought it was okay. But then I was like, but something like this is really unique. I like
Listen, my neighbors have used that candy chute every year since. Every year since then. That PVC candy stupid chute. Yes. It's still there every year.
It does work, but yeah, I understand. This is one thing I did this year is I've updated and you may have seen, Troy, I've posted some of I've done tombstones.
Yes.
And I got a lot of I got that insight from Derek off Van Oaks, because I said, I've got a couple I made a long time ago, but then some of them are store bought, and I can't do it. I got to make my own. I got to build them up. So there's only two new. The two on those you just saw, those are gone except for two. So
sorry, I just had a margarita delivered to me. So
hey, you're winning, sir.
I have to a margarita. So
Fuel City.
You got it surrounded.
It's a gas station margarita. This is awesome.
Oh my God.
It's $2 Tuesdays. I love Texas. Anyways, back to this. So yeah, I'm a huge fan of the changing up every year. I've done that, and I continue to do that. Even though I still have a cemetery every year, I like changing it up. I like making it new, because you've got people that come to your place every year and they want to see something new. They don't want to see the same old thing. It's fun to try to find something that's new if you do it the same way.
Right.
But this, the way that you change everything up is really fun for you and for other people too.
Yeah, it keeps it challenging. Yeah, and that was the first year of the new Mr. Gutman, where he'd been impaled, and I've worked on him. This last year I did some more improvement on his movement. So it's always a work in progress, right? Remember you came over, Troy, that night, and that's the night the fogger did work, and one of my problems, like, well, way to go. And you're like, well, that's normal. It's always going to fail the night you need it. So I'm like, okay, I get it. It's all good.
Right. Yeah, because you've got then there's the new Gutman. Yeah. So when you go and make a pneumatic prop, do you do it with like an idea in mind, or are you just kind of winging it as you go and being like, well, I want to come up with this idea, but I'm just gonna go with it as it takes me? Or do you like draw out all your plans and do all that?
So it's a combo, because like Mr. Gutman was a vision. I mean, I had exactly what I wanted, and I started with the head movement, and I knew I wanted to get to the body movement. So that one was a plan. Some of the others are I have a starting point, but the finishing product is, as you know, is different.
Yeah.
Because it's like the, last year I had that, when you entered, I had that prop called Skelephore, and with the 4 skeletons. And that vision initially was a bunch of skeletons on the ground and one rising up out of them. And that sort of morphed into that. Yeah, it morphed into the Skelephore, because it just changed. I got because I'm thinking about my home haunt and the limited space, but I'm trying to get the most bang for my buck. And that's how that one grew into the more of just that. But it had you'll see it maybe in another video. You'll see when the light comes on, I also have the air blast. So I got them. I always love the air blast. I get them 2 ways on those.
Right.
So it's always, I can't not have the air blast. I'll have it somewhere. It's one that's a stay. I always have it every year somewhere. So.
It gets people every time. It doesn't matter. Yeah. It gets me, and it's right there. Those and the little air whips on the ground. Those I love.
Oh
them.
yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that was a nice quick
Yeah,
one.
that is cool.
Absolutely. Yeah, here we go. My neighbors. She didn't like it. Yeah, I caught that a little bit, and that's one thing I started doing new was adding cameras into the haunt. Right. Because one day one year I did it by accident on the whim. I had it stuck in the garage. I'm like, wait a minute, there's some footage here. I can start using. I can get a lot of footage out of here. So
it's so fun. It's so fun to watch, and it shows you what you're doing wrong as well as what you're doing right. You can. Yeah. It's a very teachable thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're like, and that's one thing I do. I like about that. I like to do a little pre-walkthrough, with friends, but about a week before, just to check timing. And like you say, oh wait, that didn't work at all, or I try to put in things that slow you down, because you will, it's not a forever kind of walkthrough, but I do want to time you and keep you in there as long as I can.
Right. And that's his. That's the award-winning corpses right there.
Capture.
We'll show a little more of that in a minute, but.
Thank you. Yeah, there's the barrel that didn't work that night when you came
yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
But if you caught what he said that people have to come over the week before Halloween and do a time test. So I know where I'm going to be because I got to see this because I can't come Halloween night, of course.
Oh yeah, I'm sure. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So
Me and Roland will come by and give you the hard truth.
Yeah, no, that's cool. That's why I appreciate it because that's why I told you I'm good for criticism if it's going to help you get better. So
yeah, I love how when he moves up there, the skeleton moves too. I like how and I know that was probably unintentional that he moves when it does.
It works.
I like how it makes it look more natural that the 12-footer's moving as well as the guy on top. Because you would. You're holding the guy.
Yeah, that's where. Oh, that's the interns.
I love it.
Woo!
Out of the blue, we asked Denver, "What's going on there?" And he goes, "Hey, it's scary." And then just some shout. There's Courtney, my neighbor. They've helped every year. Haley, Brittany, that's my daughter-in-law. There's Beth, my wife. She was helping that room there. She does her part. Morgan. That's the early line when it was still daylight and then it was picking up. We usually get close to 300 a night when we do it. It's usually a good turnout.
Yeah.
And I used to do candy at the end, but now I do candy at the front because they were running out and running into people. So we changed it up a little bit. Yeah, that's me conquering contacts. Usually nothing goes in my eye unless it falls in there. And but for Halloween a couple years ago, I said I got to conquer these contacts, and my son helped me work with me, and so now I can put those in there. And it helps close the deal on the look, right?
Yeah, for sure.
That was that when I popped out, I had a black light that would come on because that mask is iridescent, so it really popped it. The camera doesn't do it justice, but it really popped when I came out.
Yeah.
These are that's what it's for right there. When you get those scares, that's what does the justice.
Oh, absolutely. That's so cool. I love
and this is I'm sorry, that's the pop-up and I have air under that one. So there's the air. I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna get it.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
And Damon, he helped me last year. That had more of an exorcist room there. That was a different prop. I didn't get a lot of footage of that bed. I really was sort of proud of that bed where I had it popping the bed.
Oh, yeah.
And then it would raise up and then tilt. And I really should have. Yeah,
I love it.
They were real happy to get. It's the best scares. Yeah. If we knock a wall down or they knock a wall down, then we're doing our job. I have no problem making repairs. Stop and make a repair. We did our job.
Listen,
it was great.
We had lockers. We have our school, our haunt is an old school, and our hallway is just full of lockers. We had in the middle of the haunt, this is awful. No one got hurt, but our lockers went down like dominoes last year, and we had to stop. I mean, there was just a group of teenage girls that just went crazy, and they knocked them down. And I mean, they're pretty solid in there. We have actors that hide that open the bigger ones and hide in there, and they never knock them down. And these girls just took them down. And luckily nobody got hurt, but you just have to people get so scared they will do whatever to get out of there.
Yeah,
knock
stuff. I've had them come out sideways on the exit and take out the doorway. I said, "Oh, that's a new exit. Okay, we'll go with that. We'll have 2 exits now."
I love it.
But you're right. This one year, and I learned for a lesson. It was great though. I had a tall 8-foot mirror, and I had it in the walkway. And as you walked up, I had somebody on the other side of the wall walking towards you. So you think they're behind you in the mirror, but they're coming up beside you. It was really, I thought it was a great illusion. But some kid panicked and ran into the mirror and shattered it. Nobody got hurt. And he thought he was in trouble. I said, "No, you were fine. I'm just glad you're okay." So we took 20 minutes, cleaned it all up, and went about our business. But that was a learning moment. I thought it was out of the way. It was against the wall. Nobody will go near a mirror. Yeah, they went right to the mirror. So learned off of that.
On the ground.
Yes, we've had some of those things too. We're actually in the process of redoing our entire haunt. and we have a lot of windows, and we were originally using our original windows as part of our haunt, and then we realized we don't want to do that, so we're actually walling up all of our windows and creating fake windows in the next like year or so. That's like our big project. We're basically going to take a something out of Dent's book, because when we went through Dent Schoolhouse, they have like actual rooms inside of a room. So like you know, we bought the school and we were like, yeah, it's so authentic and this is going to be great. And then you realize like using the actual walls isn't actually good. So we're just building walls inside of the original walls, and it's just going to give us a lot more I don't know, just like a lot more freedom to do things. Plus, like trying to get things to drill into our old school walls is just hard. So, you know, it's gonna help us out a lot. But the windows are always scary because they're real windows. They're original windows in the building. The building was built in 1916. I don't need somebody flying out a window because they're scared. You know what I mean? And that can happen. You know,
no, I'm with you.
People are terrified.
we that's one thing we do, the walkthroughs, and when and again, I talk about changing. I change the layout every year. I've got enough layouts now that I could repeat because they were so long ago, no one's seen it. But I usually change it up. But I always strategically place it where you won't hopefully run into anything. But if you do, I've got that. I reinforce that section with padding or whatever, just to try to fix. And I'm getting better with it. But there's still occasionally you're like, I didn't see that coming. I never would have thought they would have gone that way.
Yep.
But we always try to do that just to stay ahead of it. Just really try to work safely with it and have fun with it. Oh, there I am I'm a little Sid there. That was the doll room. And what was bad about that is something that was so scared to come in. And then when I would try to approach them, say, if you're not going to come in, go ahead and commit and go back out. But then they got scared because I'm coming at them. So I couldn't win. I'm just trying to talk to them. Hey, you could go back out the other way if you need to go out. Yeah.
And this is just in a 3-car garage. It just that's crazy.
And then here, this you can't see. That's that's the squeeze wall. I call it the devil's butthole, but that's another means to slow them down a little bit so they won't go too fast.
Right.
There's my little puppet.
The devil's butthole. Okay, that's adopting that.
Okay, that's what I call it, to slow them down a little bit.
Oh, I love it.
Oh, and I got that jacket there from Dark Hour. They had a garage sale, so I picked up that jacket there. Really good. Nice. I got a bargain on that.
I love when haunts have garage.
And this is another slow. I have that drop wall, so the drop ceiling, so you had to sort of slow down to come through there. So just another means to slow them down a little bit.
Yeah.
And there's Pig Boy. Also, that's my son Austin. He's been in a gym. He's been involved every year since I've been doing this. So I'm always grateful to have him, and Brittany, his wife. They've been helpful every year. Great. It's always a great turnout. We always have a good turnout. So
yeah, it looks like it. I think somebody asked, how many nights are you open? I was going to ask that too. How many nights do you run in the fall?
I do it Halloween night. I've tried, because it's so busy. I've tried to do the weekend before, and we just didn't get the same bang for the buck. Plus, it's harder for me to get actors. They're all getting married and having kids and families and moving on. So literally, I do it Halloween night. Whatever night it falls on, I'll do it Halloween night.
That's cool.
And it's been good I don't, even though it's one night, I don't mind. I love the build. I start early and get it ready. I've got it down to a science pretty much on the structure and the floor mat. How I'm going to do everything. So I can knock it out pretty quick. But it's worth it. I love that the plastic got trapped on his head. That was funny.
Taking the haunt with him.
Yeah.
That's so classic.
The family's been great. Everybody helps us out, and we get through it. And the neighbors all been great to help out. The neighbors know the police know who I am. The sheriffs know who I am. They know the neighborhood. A little story. I occasionally I get a kidney stone. I'll let you know about that. And one year I had to go to the emergency room, and I'm in dire straits, but they're checking me in, and the receptionist, when I gave her my address, she goes, "Wait, are you in Traverse, Traverse where you live?" And I go, "Yeah." She goes, "Oh my God, you're the haunt guy." And I go, Yeah, so I got bumped up and got seen pretty quick. So it was what I got
There
to
you
drop one
go.
of those "Do you know who I am" moments.
He's got to go
that,
back.
Yeah.
Got to go back. While we're showing the people who didn't win this award, who were very, very good, besides that, what went into building the captured corpses?
Those are servos, and I just had a vision of the first one I ever did was just I had the head raise up, and I have a video where I actually put a skeleton in my work cubicle, and where when you entered it, it triggered, and then just the head would raise up one time and scare. And I thought, oh wait, again, it morphed into that where I can now if I speed up that movement with the servo and make it faster. And then I thought, and I had just two skeletons. Wait a minute, let me get a small one. And now I've got a family. So now I've got an infant, I got a husband, and I got a wife. And it just sort of grew into that and coordinating the speed to make sure they were moving fairly violent for a servo. So it took off from just wanting one to have his head raised up. I just wanted one to raise the head up when you walk in. And I got it to morph into that.
And then
Brick
announced that you won.
Yep.
That was cool.
Thank
And
you.
he messaged me afterwards. He was like, man, that must have been hard to pick all those. And I go, I don't know. I wasn't a judge. And he goes, that must be nice. And I go, no, but I know who won. And that's great. But he's like, that looks like an air prop, but it's done with motors. And he was very impressed with how you made it look like an air prop without using air. Because me and Christopher, talked in the beginning, we were like, is that not an air prop? And he's like, and we're like, no, it's not. It is a full on, servos and motor. And he's like, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, it just took finding again, like you finding the right ones that would work. I think was it last week you had John and Lynn on, and he was talking about how he went through multiple to find the right one. And it was sort of that finding some with enough torque and it could handle the speed and then the weather. Once I got there, I'm good to go. So
yeah, awesome. So you're doing. We're gonna get to some questions here in a minute as well, but I did want to show that you are making. There we go. There it goes.
Oh my tombstones. That was my first attempt to really make decent ones.
So how do you make your tombstones?
It's the 2-inch installation, and I actually got a heat knife to cut them out clean, and then find out some of these that one I made up, some I found. I thought it was thank you, I appreciate that one. It's for the adults.
I like the other one though, the decapitated. I like what it said.
Yeah, that one.
She's finally.
I borrowed that one. Those are borrowed, but. So I got the design off, just basic design. Some of those are basic, and then I used my wife's Cricut to cut the stencils out, do them on there, and back to Derek's put the template on there and lightly spray it, and then came back with my Dremel tool, carved everything out, and then the dry lock. It's a standard dry lock, and the acrylic paints to get the looks that I want, and. I've got some watered down white. I got brown. I got green. I got black. I was really trying to get some good weather to them.
Yeah, you can see the green in this one a lot too. How it's coming off the letters and stuff. Yeah.
I really wanted to, and I don't go. Sometimes I don't go into intricate details because I think what's the rule, the 10-foot rule or whatever. Because most people are going to see them from a distance. So I want it to be good quality from a distance with some decent detail to it, but not. Intricate details because they won't, not all of it they'll get to see. But so it was time. Like I say, it was time to. Sorry.
I love detail, but I'm with you with the whole how much time do you want to spend on one little tiny thing that most people aren't going to look at for long.
Right.
I love to see it. I love it, but I 99% of people don't appreciate it. So.
Yeah, we do like when I go to a haunt. I'm looking for that because I want to either pick up a technique or a look or a style or something, but I do look for that kind of thing. So, but it's just the time to do them, paint them. and let them dry. And I do insert PVC inside of them to help support them.
Yeah.
So I saw that a long time ago where, just sort of heat a tube in there and put PVC about 12 inches in. When I put rebar on the ground, those aren't going anywhere. So they stay up.
Nope.
They work right then.
Yep. Rebar. I have 2 Home Depot buckets full of 2-foot rebar that is super heavy, and I have to lug it out every year. And it's
no, I'm with you. Yeah, I've got them zip tied. This group goes with the tombstones. This group goes with the fence. So.
Oh yeah, that is a great idea, because I have a huge amount of fence too that I got to put up, and I just go and I just haul out the bucket and leave it in the middle of the yard, and then I just keep walking back and forth. What I do with the cemetery fence is, once I have the fence laid out where I'm going to put it, I grab a big handful of rebar and I just walk along the fence and drop how many are going to go around that area, and then later on I go back and my wife, I think it was last year, before we moved here, and she did all of the rebar in the fence, and she goes, "Oh my God, that is hard! Like, it is hard to pound in that much rebar into the ground, because we use the sledgehammer, one of the smaller ones, and it is a lot of work getting that, hammering all those pieces down."
Oh, I know. I had one for a tombstone by the tree in the yard, and I wedged it into a root. And I mean, I got my young son, and I said, "You pull it out, because I can't do this thing." And we wound up getting a bumper jack and chain, and I finally cranked it out. I've never had one I couldn't get out, but I was not going to be defeated. I got it. Now, it might have been unusable after that because of all the bends, but we did get it out of the ground. It's out.
Right. So before we go on to audience questions, we have a very specific question, and it's actually very specific for you.
Honors Toolbox question of the week: 5 tips for haunting in an HOA.
You live in an HOA.
Oh, tip.
5 tips, 3 tips, whatever. It doesn't have to be 5.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be 5.
Oh,
that's a Brian. I
think mine's keep it orderly, have it structured. I even have someone that gets at the end of the line and cuts it off so that everyone knows this is the last of the line, so we can avoid any kind of conflicts with people coming up late, and we cut them off at the door. Try to be proactive there. I do post in the neighborhood early that we're coming, that we're going to be up and running, and what times we're going to be open. That helps, because I do try to start. This last year we tried to start earlier, just to help some of the kids that, especially on a weeknight, we go earlier. That's been mostly just trying to keep it clean, organized, and orderly, and information out there for the neighborhood to know when we're doing it. And now I've been doing it for so long, word of mouth is out. They know they know where I'm at, because I hang a skeleton on the street light. They know who I am. Like I say, early on, it was just trying to get it out there. We weren't trying to grow it. We just wanted to do it to have fun with it, and it just morphed into this giant visit every year. So that's what I would lean on that. Just orderly information out there, and keep it structured and nice and clean and family oriented. You'll be fine.
It probably depends a lot on your HOA and the rules there too, as well, wherever you live.
That's true. Yeah. They gave me a notice. Again, that was sort of a nice notice one year to take the skeleton off the light pole, but they gave me 30 days to take it down, and I got the notice like October 2nd. So,
nice.
Okay. I'll get it on day 3.
They knew what they were doing.
Yeah, they knew exactly.
They knew what they were doing when they sent that.
Yeah. But that's the only time I've ever had an issue with them, and that's not really an issue. They've been really. I haven't had a problem with them so far.
What I've noticed from hearing the horror stories on Facebook, and of course, as with like restaurant reviews and things like that, it's, you're only going to ever hear the bad things. But I've noticed that there are a large amount of HOAs that are very stickler about when you can decorate, what you can do, what times it has to go up, what times it has to go down. It's all clearly in your CC&Rs and all that kind of stuff. But I noticed that I had heard October 1st, and that's even what Sean says. Sean's down in Houston. He lives in an HOA as well. And like a lot of them said October 1st, but I noticed in driving around, like, and this is specific to me and Chad anyways, the Rockwall area, the Forney area, the Royce City, the Fate, and now in Greenville, there were people putting out Halloween stuff in September. And it didn't seem, I mean, and it wasn't like one little thing or just a banner here. It was decorations in the yard. It was skeletons. It was the 12-foot skeletons were going up. As soon as those were going in stores in the end of August, I started seeing them go up in people's neighborhoods. And these were HOAs. And I remember telling my wife, I go, we probably could have lived in an HOA here and gotten the damn pool. Because now, because we were so afraid because of what we do for Halloween. And as soon as we got here, the first thing we unloaded was our big skeleton horse. And we don't live in an HOA neighborhood. It's the style, but it's not an HOA because it doesn't have enough houses in it. And so I was like, but that's what I would have done if I moved to an HOA. And I'm like, I'm the ask for forgiveness afterward thing, type.
Yeah.
But it seemed like a lot of the neighborhoods in Texas that I saw anyways didn't mind it going up before October 1st. Does yours have that rule, or is it?
I've never had it. Yeah. I've not heard from them otherwise, but my rule has always been October 1st for me. That's just sort of me. I'm not going up till October 1st, whatever day that falls on, basically.
Right.
But they, because, even morphing or switching over to Christmas, people start pretty early. And there's never been now there's a couple of houses that still got some lights up right now that I have an issue with. Maybe y'all might want to take those down now, but they're on the back of the house. So maybe the HOA didn't see
them. Like Christmas lights?
Yes. They're still in the back of their house. You can see it from the FM road. I'm like, okay.
Oh no.
But really, I haven't heard otherwise. I don't think I've seen anything even in the guidelines and bylaws or whatever about timelines. But for me, it's been about, or at least over here, pretty much October 1st for most of the neighborhood here.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, most HOAs and people in general, normals, don't understand how long this takes us to do it. And for displays, I'm not going to set my display up October 20th. I want people to enjoy it all month long.
Yes.
So that means I've got to be out there in September putting up the fence. And specifically for me, I have things that I'm out of the area in the first couple of weeks of October. So I can't, it has to be done before I leave.
Yeah.
And so for me, I'm like, I couldn't follow that rule because I got to be out there. And, I start putting my fence up Labor Day weekend. Because then it's several weekends to do what I need to do. And, because obviously I work and things like that. And so I'm not going to be, waiting till October 1st to put it up. So that was another worry because I'd heard that about a lot of HOAs that it was October 1st. And I was like, how does that work when then Christmas, they can put those up Thanksgiving? Thanksgiving, you can start putting up Christmas lights and everything. And it's like, well, that's more than a month ahead.
Yeah.
No, I'm with you. That's just for me. It's been a time, but I'm with you. Yeah, it does. There's so much time involved that usually it's the 1st, but I'll catch that weekend. If the weekend happens to be the 27th, 20, I'm going to hit it that weekend because I just got to. Again, my window is the weekend to do it.
Right.
And it does take some time. So
yeah. And like you've mentioned before, everybody in your neighborhood already knows who you are. The HOA people know who you are. They know what a good thing it is. And I think that's one thing that HOAs really need to start looking at is that it's not a detriment to your neighborhood. Sure, if that 12-foot skeleton, I'm totally against having 12-foot skeletons up in the middle of March, April, May, June. It takes away the magic. I don't care if you decorate it in different outfits and whatever. It takes away the magic. And you are skirting the rules and you're kind of doing it in their face. And then you're surprised when you get a notice. I'm all for all that type of thing. And I think that HOAs and maybe just regular neighbors in general as well need to understand that this is a good thing. There's so many kids who get to, act in it that don't get accepted into the kickball games and they're bullied at school and things like that. But they come to you and you go, absolutely, I want you here. That story is nationwide with haunts and home haunts and everything, that it helps so many people, but HOAs just see it as, it's just like the Halloween Satan's day and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, so once you get to your level where you're sitting there going, well, no, they enjoy it. They want us here. All the neighbors love it. Nobody's going to complain. So you have that going for you too. Nobody's sitting there going, well, I don't like it. And I've been here for 20 years and I don't like it, so.
No, it's been good. I mean, to your point, I even the school buses will stop occasionally. I've let them. They've stopped with the little kids just so they can all look and get a day shot.
Cool.
And used to, when I had my office downstairs, I had a lot of those props in the yard with the remote, and I would hear kids just walking by from the school bus. So that just made my day. I'll be on a Zoom meeting. I'm like, hang on, guys, I got some kids coming. I got my job here. I got to take care of.
I have my real job. Leave me alone.
I'm gonna mess with the neighbor kids.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah, always fun.
We've got an empty lot behind our house. They haven't built the house behind us yet. And right behind and in front of that empty lot is one of the school bus stops. So I'm actually going to put my 12-foot witch back there in the backyard facing the bus stop so that they can and I'll extend the IR further, so they can do it. So that they get something to look at when they're getting on the bus in the morning. So
sounds good.
Yeah. So Christopher, why don't you put up a couple questions? I know we had some about the fog trailer. Yeah.
Okay. On the let's see. Well, on that trailer with the corpses, again, that's all electric. There's no air on that. But what I did is that my truck's got power supply to the back of my truck. So I fed an electrical cord from the truck to the fogger setting down. It's a small $20 fogger, and I didn't need much. And then I had a little Harbor Freight LED light below it, and it worked like a charm for the effect we were trying to pull off. And again, we weren't going fast. One year I hooked that big post to the back of my truck on the trailer hitch, and I was going to drive up to Walmart to try to scare people, but it was so lightweight it was blowing the skeletons way back. So I said I can't go, but I was going to drive around the parking lot at Walmart there and scare people.
Fun.
So this is just going slow, work like a charm through the neighborhood. But that was just the power supply from the truck.
Nice. Seeing the hay bales on there reminded me at our last neighborhood. There was a guy that would drive around with his truck, and he had a trailer, and he put the hay bales on it, and he would drive the kids through the neighborhood to drop them off at different streets and stuff to do trick or treating and stuff. But with like an HOA neighborhood, it's super easy to do trick or treating. You stay in the neighborhood and you just walk around. There's house. It's just there's so many houses to hit.
And that's a small trailer, so we could just set on the hay bales. Like I said, we were doing the mobile, and we just hop right off and get back on. It was real easy.
Yeah. So because this year Halloween is on a Thursday, I believe, right? I think
it is.
I'm looking. Yeah, it's on Thursday. So you would run Thursday. So next year when it's on, I think it'd be 2 years from now, when it's on like a Saturday, would you do a Friday and Saturday, or would you do something like this on Friday, drive around the neighborhood with this thing, and then Saturday have the haunt?
I'd probably still just do the one night, but I might go longer. If it's the weekend, we'll try to go a little longer because we know there's no school the next day and things like that. Mm-hmm. Usually what we usually go to is till the line's gone.
Right.
But this past year we just sort of had to cut it off a little early. So we did get in there and timed it to where we finished probably by, I think 9:30ish or so by the time we got the last people through. But that was not too bad for a school night. So
it was a school night.
Yeah.
November 1st should always be no work and no school. I'm petitioning for that.
Exactly.
Super Bowl Monday and Halloween Monday, or Halloween day after should be no
November
school.
1st. Yep.
Exactly. Yep.
Have you noticed a difference in attendance from obviously the weekend to a weekday, or do you get about the same regardless?
It's about the same. It hits in that 275 to 300 range pretty much whichever night we do it on. It's been pretty consistent. Yeah. And we're getting more people from outside the neighborhood. Again, like words travel, and people will tell their friends in another place and they bring their kids and stuff like that. So it's grown a little bit more just from that.
Right.
But, always fun still. Either way. Whoever, I don't care who shows up, just show up.
Right.
Right.
Christopher, do we have another? I know we have a couple other questions, I think. Yes.
Oh, okay. That's a Pico server from Rock Props and works like a charm. You can run up to 4 servos on that thing. And once I got to figure out how to program it right, and got the movements right. It's just what's that server, like 2-inch by 1.5 inches. It's a really small controller. It's really small, but it works like a charm. So had good luck with that.
I think it's right back. It's right back here, right?
That's a Peekaboo Plus, but the Pico server is literally like that small one. That's a Peekaboo. I think that's a Peekaboo. That's a single. I forgot that was the name of that one, but it's about that same size as that small one there.
Okay.
And you can plug in like I say, four servos in there.
Okay.
And I take that back. That may be it. I'm looking. Sorry, I'm squinting. No, that's not it. Those are all air. That's all on air.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Oh yeah, for the servos you did the different. Yeah.
It's a picture. It's just, but the controller is the same as that small one on that screen. It's just I just added that extra one to give some more movement.
Okay. And I know what the last question is. Yeah.
Which all
Behind you.
these or all these pieces? That's my silicone mask collection that's grown thanks to Mike Peace. The neighbor down the street had a mask. He let me try one on, and then I was hooked. So I've grown the collection that we use every year. So I've increased the quality of my mask and costumes. So there's those. I got one over here. That one there's the one I was last that with the glows in the dark. My wife's been gracious enough to help. We picked up these two here at Transworld. We were to go and pick those up there at Transworld. I ordered Tortured at Transworld, and just enjoy. That's why I say that I had to get. My first mask was this gray one. Was the gray Zombie 2.0.
Nice.
And I said I've got to do contacts or it's not going to sell. It's not going to work.
Right.
And so contacts, makeup, everything that works. Got an airbrush now, so I can do airbrushing and work on that makeup. So keep working on all my. Again, it's always a work in progress to get better with it.
All right. I need to find my. Where's our checks? I know I typed in our rapid fire questions. We need to do that. Christopher, throw up a few more.
Probably has them.
Well, I know we talked about it last week or the week before.
Well, there was a story I meant to tell you earlier. Now, if I'll back up a little bit if I can.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, along the Halloween scares, and Troy, you've met me, so you know I'm sort of tall, not mega tall, but sort of tall.
Yeah.
And but when my son and my dad, they're taller than me. Well, when I was a kid, my dad would, and this is something I didn't know for a long time, he would take a nap on the couch. My dad's 6'8", so he would take a nap. He would overhang off the couch. And this was in elementary. I would charge kids to come in to see the sleeping giant. And we would walk by him so they could see the sleeping giant. And forever, I thought that was my secret. And then Dad and I actually worked at the same place, and he's retired. But we were at a meeting together, and he brought that story that for 40 years I never knew he knew. He was awake. He was faking it the whole time. He'd been faking asleep so I could do my tour and bring the kids through to see the sleeping giant. So that was part of that whole.
That's awesome.
The whole haunt thing was embedded early on.
Bait and switch. He was helping you.
He was helping me. He didn't get a cut. I kept the quarter myself. He didn't get a cut.
That's funny.
Okay, so I found the question. So it's time for
rapid fire.
Okay.
I have to change up one of them because somebody's not here. So
somebody's absent.
So the first question is, what is your personal optimum time opinion for going through a haunted house? So we'll do two, pro haunt and a home haunt.
Okay. Home haunt, I think, like in my case, I look at mine, I weigh mine. If I can hit 3 to 4 minutes, I think I did well because it's really small, but I'm trying to stretch the time. I think 3 or 4 minutes is good and I usually get you 7 scares. I try to get 7 scares out of that room. I try to get a bunch as much as I can, but not overkill it. No pun intended, but
yeah.
Pro, probably Well, I can mention Dark Hour. I've been there and I've always enjoyed that. And then that one's a good 30 minutes, 25, 30 minutes, if far as I remember right. And it was great. And it didn't seem too long. It didn't seem too short. It was just, it seemed about right. So probably I would say if you can get 25, 30 minutes, then and it's quality, you're doing a good job.
I love that answer.
Seems to be the consensus.
That's how long my haunt is. But where I'm located, every other haunt is like so much bigger because there's a lot of farm haunts around me. So it's like you get on the wagon and then you're on the wagon for 15 to 20 minutes. Then you get off the wagon and you wait in line and then you're in the first house and that takes 15 minutes. And then you know what I mean? So I'm one haunt and I'm 25 minutes and
Perfect.
It's very intense, but I think it's perfect.
But that would be individuals at 30 minutes. So if they're doing 15, 20 minutes,
but it's one ticket price. So you know, for people think more bang for your buck because even though in between the haunts, they're waiting to get into the haunt, they're counting that as like time that they're entertained or time that they're there. You know what I mean? So whatever. Anyway, question 2.
Okay. Vampires or zombies?
Zombies. That's a piece of cake. Yeah. I mean, both are good, but zombies first choice. Yeah.
Yeah. And Susie or Troy?
Well, you know, I've got to go the Texan, the new Texan. I got to go Troy only because of he's a neighbor. He's my neighbor. I might need some help.
Yeah.
He's already got me planning to build some haunt for him. So you know.
Yeah, he's gonna help build my Frankenstein's lab. It's gonna be great.
Christopher said he's a transplant, so it doesn't count. How do I go up? I'm gonna read
Roland from California, so you know, whatever.
Yeah, but he's not on this show. It's not me against him.
Oh, okay.
It's me against you. Anyway. Go on. Question 3 or whatever.
Let's see. So you do a lot of masks, so this would actually be good. Silicone or latex?
Silicone. To me, no brainer. I've got both, but the silicone just puts it over the top. It really does.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then the one that I kind of already clued you into because we were talking about it beforehand, facade or final scare?
That I've put some thought into that, and I think it's a 1A and a 1B. Facade for me. Facade, you got to start. You got to set the tone.
Yeah.
And I've put, like on my build, I don't do a lot of details inside. I've done some rooms with details, but people are going through there so quick they don't see them. So I do try to focus on that, on the exit, on the finale. So so to me, it's sort of a 1A and 1B kind of thing, with leaning more towards facade first, honestly.
Awesome. Okay. Well, Sean sent me a picture of the actual questions, so I appreciate that, Sean. I've already done. Yeah. I'm gonna have to actually write them down.
One of these.
It's not my job. It's Dan's job. It's Dan's job.
So you left us high and dry tonight, so what else?
Yeah, you know, whatever. So yeah, that is there anything? I know. You said you're going to change up the yard a little bit this year, but what are your plans for this year? Do you have like a theme in mind? Are you going to do something cool? Are you going to build something cool? What's your master plan for this year?
Well, I am working on a new build, and I'll say a little bit. It's going to be a twist to that scissor prop out that pops out. So I'm going to do a little twist to that. Okay. That's going to be something inside the haunt. But it's early. I get inspiration on the fly.
Yeah.
Something could hit me in July, and it could be just walking through the mall, or it could be watching TV, and I'm like, oh wait, that's where I'm going. I'm going that direction with this, whatever it is I'm going to build. But I usually build something new every year. Floor layout, obviously, like I said, change that. Yard, I'm going to change up a little bit, just because I've had that same kind of theme now for like 3 years, but I'm going to tweak it a little bit. Not a lot, but a little bit. So,
okay.
You know what I like the most about what you said, Chad? You said these words. It's early. It's early. And every time we have the show, Troy needs me to know how many days it is till Halloween. And I hate this part of the show.
There it is.
But I like Chad's attitude, because Chad's like, it's early. We've got time. And I agree with you, Chad. So much time. It's just so much time.
I'm right there with you. I haven't built a thing yet. Actually, Ashley has carved 2 panels for our lab, so we are starting.
You guys are getting somewhere. We had our photos and videos done, so that's something.
You did.
Yeah, no.
But we're
and
starting.
Believe it or not, I do the same countdown at work. Whenever on my meetings, when I wrap them up, they know I'm going to give them a countdown. They know it's coming. They know I'm a hot guy, and they know it's coming. So I appreciate that, but I'm keeping my mindset so I can stay calm and cool that it's early.
You have to.
But I did start on Tombstone. So I did start and I have sort of started on that other. So
you did. Yep.
You did. But it's going to reel in pretty quick, but I do want to keep my composure through it. So,
okay.
We have a dumpster coming tomorrow because we have a bunch of stuff we need to throw out. So that's like a big thing for us is getting rid of a lot of stuff that we.
I'll be there. I'll be there at midnight to take everything out of the dumpster and put it into my truck. So
listen, it's so funny. We watch the cameras and we watch the people going through our dumpsters, and it's just comical. So funny.
Yeah. Bartley wanted to see this again, so I wanted to show him. Is there anything interesting about this pop up? Did you do it any different way?
The groundbreaker. I saw it on YouTube, and I said I'm going to build it, and built it. And the sound of him and his clacking and teeth chopping is me. I don't normally do voices and things, but I did the sound effects for that one.
I love it.
Right, let's see if
a few of them I do a few of the sound effects on.
He wants to know, is it motors or air?
That one is air. Yeah, that one's air. Because it's got to move pretty violent sometimes, so air works on that.
Okay, so
and it's been rebuilt a few times. But I haven't changed his clothes. He's nice and weathered. It's been through rain and everything like that. There is new. Now he's not new. It looks great because he's really.
His shirt's not white anymore, I bet.
Right?
No, it's been through a few rains over the years. So.
He actually crawled out of the ground.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, that was me. I'm proud of that effect.
That's a side gig. That's a side gig. Sound effects.
Well, and it hides the up and down, it definitely hides the sound of the prop as well. And that's one of my big things with air props is that you can hear, especially the big ones, you hear that air release, you hear things happen, and then it goes. And I'm like,
it's coming.
Okay, I'll just wait for it to do its thing. I'm not scared anymore. You ruined it because I heard everything.
Yeah.
And so motor props are always big with me, or obviously actors, because the motor props, you don't hear anything prior to it going off. For a yard haunt, I'm always impressed when people use air. There's a bunch in Chicago that use air all over the place in there, and I'm always impressed by that because of the whole idea of that most people have no idea that home haunters can do this type of thing. They expect it in pro haunts because you're spending money. We're not spending money as best we can. And we're coming up with these things, and they have no idea in their mind that you could make something with all those air cylinders, all those servos, and have that do that. So then they're always blown away. And as a haunter, I'm still blown away that people can do that in their yards.
I'm with you there. And I do try to build where the valve is away from it, because I'm with you. I don't want to hear that whole air stuff. That just, to me, I'm like you, it sort of takes it away. If you can get away from it. Yeah. I do try to pull the air, all the controls and the solenoids away from the actual prop.
Right.
When I can. Some of them can't. So.
Right. Or like Shane said, putting the high powered speakers. I know there's several, prop companies that's part of the build now, is that they're putting a speaker in it and it's right there inside. And so you plug in the MP3 or it's already in there, and or your little the SD card, and it just plays the sound. And so then it masks all the noises, which obviously is what you want them to be scared. You want them to be affected by it, not by the mechanics. Right. When Lowe's came out with their air props this last year, they were so clanky. You heard every linkage move. And I'm just like, that is, I applaud them for trying, but it's like, that's just, it's so terrible.
Yeah.
You have to do a lot of work to hide.
Yeah.
Oh, So let's see. I don't think we have any other.
We don't have Dan, so we're lost. Dan,
Dan,
come back.
We have fantastic. Viewers and fans that are helping us out with this episode as well. So
absolutely.
Besides Christopher,
and
he's
Christopher.
Back. He's right there. Oh, Christopher,
there he is.
That was enough.
That was enough. His camera's broke.
Yep, camera's broke. So I will at this point tell them where to find your social media stuff. Pretty easy on this one. You go to at Chad's Haunts on YouTube. He only has 14 subscribers, and that is unacceptable for me. So
Totally.
I need everybody to go subscribe to his YouTube channel right now, or else you can't watch the show next week. No, wait, you have to watch the show next week. You have to give me $5 if you don't go.
Oh, dear God.
So he's got great stuff on here to watch. Great scare videos and stuff like that. And more stuff coming up throughout the year here, where he'll share all of his stuff. Did it go? Did he take it away? Did I put that up? I don't know. Did I put that up? I don't know where I am right now. This margarita to go has gotten to me.
I was just gonna say, man, for $2,
it's working.
you really got
I'm going back. I will send 20. I will take your 20 tacos, sir, and a subscription to this YouTube channel.
Very nice.
So, Susie's supposed to ask. Well, Dan's supposed to ask me who's on next week.
Yes, I was gonna say. Speaking of next week, because you said if they don't subscribe, they can't watch the show next week, and I was gonna say, speaking of next week, who's on next week?
We are going to have Joey Morris. This is a really cool picture of Joey. They run Morris Manor, as well as better known as Pantophobia Haunted House. It is another home haunt, and they entered in the awards for this year. I found several home haunts this year off of their award submissions, and a lot of these blew me away. So we're gonna continue our run of home haunt walkthroughs. Started tonight with Chad.
Awesome.
You got to start in Texas, of course. Then we'll move on to those other states.
That don't matter. All the states that don't matter.
All the states that are lesser than Texas.
Of course.
That's who's going to be on next week. It's a pretty cool home haunt, so we'll get to learn all about them. And so thank you, Chad, for coming on with us. And I will absolutely be at your testing night, whether you like it or not.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I appreciate it. And thank you for having me on here. I hope I didn't underwhelm, because there's you've had so many great guests on here in the past, and I appreciate the opportunity to be on here. And thank you for
everybody is awesome. We love, like we've said, we've learned something from every guest that we've had on this show. And everybody is just as awesome as the next person. Everybody has their different levels of talent, and you have definitely shown a crap ton of talent with especially your natural movements on your props. That's
for sure.
Those are definitely something to be proud of.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Except Troy,
thanks for having me.
Christopher. Oh,
Troy.
I can't handle this. Anyways, so next week we will be back on Tuesday, and we will have on Joey Morris, and Dan will be back, and Susie will be here, and Christopher will be replaced by a clapping monkey, and we'll be all great.
We'll be good to go.
Yeah. So thank you again, Chad, for coming on,
and
we'll see everybody else on next Tuesday.
Good
night.
Thanks.
All right. Y'all take care. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Bye.